Hey guys, welcome to Rudy's Movie Review, San Antonio's unofficial movie critic. Today we're going to kick off the Halloween season with a review of a classic. A movie that I saw as a kid and hadn't seen in about 20-something years. And I was very curious to see how I was going to react to it as an adult. And I was pretty surprised, to be honest. I didn't know I was going to laugh so much. As a kid, it freaked me out. But as an adult, I was laughing my ass off. And I got plenty of clips to show you. But that film is none other than the 1985 classic, directed by Dan O'Bannon, The Return of the Living Dead. Cue the music. Okay, now what's the film about? I'm gonna laugh throughout this review, so just bear with me, okay? The film's about a young man named Freddy who's just got a job at a medical supply warehouse, and it's his first day on the job, so he's going through training. And he has a veteran by the name of Frank, played by the awesome James Karen, giving him the ropes, showing him what to do, where to find things, etc. Now, watching this film again, I have to acknowledge this. The performance James Karen gives, and you've seen him in Poltergeist, you've seen him as recent as A Pursuit of Happiness. Great actor, but really, if you think about the film, he's the one who carries it. He's so over the top. He's oh god, it's all over us. It's funny, but he's the one who carries it. And I really did appreciate his performance the second time around and his enthusiasm with just everything. Even when Freddy asked him, "What's the strangest thing you've ever seen here?" Frank goes on and tells them about the story. "Have you ever heard of the Return of the Living Dead?" I'm trying to mimic his body, his facial expressions. But anyway, he goes on explaining how that event really happened, but, you know, George Romero just changed the details around. What really happened, according to the movie, is that a gas by the name of a chemical called 2,4,5-trioxin got released, and apparently this was a chemical they sprayed on weed, grass, reefer, according to the movie. But apparently it got loose and it had some cadavers kind of shake and move around. But the cadavers that moved, they sealed them in these container tanks. And I'm going to do my best Frank impression. Typical Army fuck up. They lost the records. The department lost the records. They don't know where it went. But it ended right here. I can't do it. So anyway, Frank shows them where these canisters are, right? And that's when we get our first glimpse of the zombie that's in the container. And real quick, there's a number that comes up, and I've always wanted to do this, so just bear with me. 1-800-454-8000. Yep, 8000. I'm gonna, I don't know if you can see here, I'm actually gonna call the number on the canisters. I've always wanted to do this, so let's see what happens.
Please hold for directory assistance.
Oh shit.
Free 411.
Welcome to T-Mobile. Switch over from your current carrier and get all unlimited talk, text, and the nation's fastest 4G LTE data with qualifying plan.
Press the star key now to speak with a T-Mobile rep today.
God damn it, you get T-Mobile?
You can say
That sucks. Anyway, that's kind of disappointing. But yeah, I've always wanted to call the number and I got T-Mobile. But I didn't get the kernel. Shit. Okay, and then Freddy shares a concern like, hey, can these canisters break? And then, you know, what Frank does. Now, believe it or not, when Frank hits the canisters, that gas that comes out, that is actually sulfur. The director, Dan O'Bannon, he told the crew, I want yellow smoke. I want it to look like it's been molded and in there for years. So the only way, according to the commentary, to make smoke yellow, it had to be sulfur gas. So that's kind of really them reacting to the stink. And according to the commentary, the set stunk for weeks. And that's why that one scene where they come out, oh God, I gotta get some deodorant. Psh.
Yeah, I better spray some deodorant around here.
He's holding a can of Lysol. and they actually had to get permission from Lysol to use it. So they went to Lysol and said, hey, we got this scene where we have a zombie virus that escaped and they're trying to kill it with Lysol. Can we use it? Lysol was all for it. They're like, yeah, go ahead, use it. So if you notice, he's got the label kind of pointing toward the camera the entire time because Lysol was all for it. So, hey, awesome, Lysol. And while all that's going on, we have Freddy's friends who are looking to party. They want to party. They don't know where the fuck they want to go, but they just want to party. So they're traveling around, and just FYI, the comic you see in the back, Weird Trips, Dan O'Bannon was actually a comic book artist, and that's the first comic cover that he ever drew, and he wanted it showcased in the movie. So, hey, little Easter egg. Bet you didn't know that. So Suicide is the guy's name. He's driving, and he doesn't want to wait 2 fucking hours, according to what he says, for Freddy to get off work. So hey, what do we do? Let's go party. There's a cemetery. That makes sense. Let's go check it out. Yeah, I know. So while Freddy's friends are making themselves home in the cemetery, Frank and himself are waking up from the accident, and they're just trying to brush things off, and things just start going to hell. This makes you laugh. A little puppy who's cut in half, but he's yet breathing, he's moving around, okay? And one little thing, the butterflies that are moving, again, what they actually use is they just printed out a bunch of pictures of butterflies and just pinned them on that little frame and just had a fan kind of blowing air at it. So that's why it's moving. So it's not real butterflies. It's not puppeteering. It's just paper. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, while Freddy and Frank are freaking out, and just an FYI, if you never noticed it, the little eye chart in the back, it says Bert is a slave driver. That's pretty funny. They don't know what to do, so they decided to call their boss. We gotta call the boss, and Bert. They call Bert, and Bert shows up, and he tears them a new one. And then we have Freddy's friends, right? They're back at the cemetery hanging out, and the character, her name is Trash, but she's played by Lena Quigley. I hope I'm saying that name correctly. But she starts going on about this.
Do you ever fantasize about being killed?
Never.
Do you ever wonder about all the different ways of dying? Violently? And wonder, what would be the most horrible way to die?
Try not to think about dying too much.
Well, for me, the worst way would be for a bunch of old men to get around me and start biting and eating me alive.
I see.
First, they would tear off my clothes.
Let's get some light over here.
So now we have a strip dance scene on top of a grave. And I love everybody's reactions. Like, as soon as she starts taking out the clothes, this one guy yells off camera, yeah, let's get some light in here, guys.
Let's get some light over here.
It cracks me up. And all of a sudden, these guys show up with flares. And they're dancing around her as their friend does a striptease. Yeah, so there she goes, and I do love this one guy's reaction. He's got the boombox, and he kind of looks off camera, like on the set, like, holy shit, she's taking off her pants. I didn't know that was going to be in the scene. Oh my god, look at his face. He's excited. So that goes on, and she's got an amazing booty. I will give her that. Yeah, that did it for me. Just saying. Meanwhile, Freddy's girlfriend, she just kind of doesn't want to party with everybody, so she goes back to where Freddy's working, looking for him. And that's when we have our first appearance. One of my favorite zombies, to be totally honest. They call them the Tar Man. Watch this. And I will admit, I do like how, again, I'm not like, they hired a mime to play the role of Tarhead, but I just like how he is just loose. They said that play the role like your bones are gonna fall off. And that's all the mime needed. So the mime's just going on and more brains. It's cool. It's cool. And I do like how, if you've seen Creepshow, it's got the same effects, the same look, that comic book genre look that Dan O'Bannon loved. It's got that look. And I like that because it's rare. I mean, most zombie films are all look the same. This one didn't. They took a lot of care into that effort, into that character. So I do like that whole scene. And he's smart too, because Freddy's girlfriend locks herself in a closet. But this guy's smart. Look what he does. He gets a fucking crane. Isn't that awesome? It's awesome. He's like, all right, bitch, so I'm gonna go there and like get this chain here. And then, now I got you. That is just inventive. And why not? But of course, Freddy's friends show up and suicide. I remember as a kid thinking, yeah, if I was a punk rocker, I'd beat that guy. He's tall, he's tough, he's all this and all that. He's the first one that gets killed. And I remember like, oh shit, okay, well I thought he was gonna be like the leader or the Schwarzenegger of the group, and he's the first one out. And I do like how how that all takes place. And he's like, more brains. It's cool. I like that stuff. It's just cheesy as hell. Meanwhile, back at the mortuary, we have Freddy and we have Frank, who are being looked at by paramedics. And I just love the performances. You can see their makeup slowly getting wider and wider because they're more or less they're dead. But I love how the paramedics deliver the news. Well, basically, you guys aren't alive. And you go, what do you mean we're dead? Or what's going on? So meanwhile, while they're being looked at, it's raining and the corpses start arising from the grave. And again, we all know the infamous scene of that one skeleton that pops up. And do you want to party? The music kicks in, and that's when everything goes to hell, right? The commentary, Dan O'Bannon said he was so disappointed with that skeleton, eyes opening up and the mouth opening up effect. When he first saw it, he goes, all right, that's like the first stage, right, guys? We're going to get something better. And when the special effects crew told him, no, that's it, he was like, shit. I mean, it's cheesy. I mean, it's effective, but it kind of works. But you can actually see the wire, like in the mouth, as it pulls down the jaw and the eyes open up. So it's pretty fake, but I think it delivers in the song and the atmosphere. It works, yeah. And meanwhile, the paramedics don't know what to do, but I love this scene. The paramedics go outside, and what's that yelling? I don't know. But they go into the vehicle just to kind of get things rolling. And when the paramedic hits the lights, look at this. Again, watching it again, most of these zombies are not impressive. It looks like they got some of the crew, some of their cousins, gave them some clothes from the Goodwill and covered them in mud. Because that's all it is. I mean, for the exception of, you know, the showcase zombies that we know of, most of the zombies are horrible. You can even look at them. Look at this, when the paramedic gets attacked. Look at these guys. I mean, there's like 4 guys that are just like regular face, just acting like zombies, and they got like oatmeal on their heads. And while all that's happening, all of Freddy's friends show up in the mortuary. Everyone's now in one location, and Freddy's girlfriend shows up, which I gotta hand it to this girlfriend. She's the greatest girlfriend in movie history. I mean, there's Gina Davis in The Fly, but if your boyfriend is decaying and turning into a zombie, and you're aware of what's happening and what he might end up being, that's true love, right? You're also pretty stupid, but that's true love, and she stuck with him to the very end.
We gotta lock the door, you know that.
I'm staying.
Okay.
We're gonna have to barricade the door. Like, oh, I don't care, I gotta be with him. He's like, and they don't even try to talk her out of it. He's just like, all right, bye. So they're all at the funeral home. Zombies start trying to come in, and you have the typical scene in any zombie film. They're just barricading the windows and the chapel, the Weed Chapel, I think is what it's titled. But they're all barricading the windows and doors. And right now, while all that's going on, we have a zombie eating a brain outside, and you then see the greatest zombie scene in all of horror. It's fucking brilliant.
Rescue 7, come in. This is dispatch. Do you copy over?
I'm in dispatch. Send more paramedics.
It's just too ridiculous. Here's my actual real-time reaction.
Rescue 7, come in. This is dispatch. Do you copy over?
I'm in dispatch. Send more paramedics.
It's so stupid, but I love it. I remember as a kid watching that scene and thinking, oh my God, more paramedics are going to come. They're going to get killed. What are they going to do? Someone's got to tell them. Oh my God, those poor paramedics. As a kid, that's what my mind was thinking. Like, oh my God. But I watch it as an adult. That's so... And I love dispatch. It's like, okay, no code, no anything. Dispatch is like, all right, more on the way. And then more come. But I love how the paramedics show up. And before this movie, believe it or not, if you had asked me a week ago, like, hey, Rudy, what was the first zombie movie that featured running zombies? I would have said 28 Days Later, and then Dawn of the Dead, the remake, copied 28 Days Later. It was this film. This is the first zombie film ever to feature running zombies, so just FYI.
Watch out! Hey! Watch out! Don't go over there!
Not only do they run, they can fucking tackle. Moving forward, they actually capture a zombie, well, just the torso, really. And this scene stands out to everybody. Anybody who's seen the movie, there's a few scenes they remember. They remember the Tar Man, the Do You Want a Party scene, and then there's this one where they're talking to a zombie, which is pretty cool. What other zombie movie, other than Day of the Dead, where, do they actually have a scene where the zombie is communicating with humans? And what does she tell us?
Why do you eat people?
Not people. Brains.
Why?
The pain.
What about the pain?
The pain of being dead.
But it's a really cool scene to get some exposition from a zombie on why they want brains. And then there's this scene, you just have to hear this line. We have Chuck and Casey are discussing whether they're going to be saved or not. So just watch this real quick.
Chuck, I never did like you. Oh my God, hold me tight.
Poetry. I can name like 5 women who would tell me that right now. I'm sorry. So then we have the police show up. Oh, this is it just keeps getting better. So the police show up, and believe it or not, the cop that comes out, he's actually a real officer. Dan O'Bannon was mentioning that, yeah, this guy came on the set, he was using terms like, hey, we got a body over here. Like, oh, that wasn't in the script. Let's keep that. That's authentic. Yeah, let's do that.
I got a man down.
The zombies come out of nowhere and proceed to tackle the officer, which if you watch it, as he's being tackled, he's trying not to drop his hat. He reaches for his hat. And here's actually my reaction to it watching it live. He tried to get his hat. Okay, now we're getting to the end of the film. We have a Freddy who's barricaded in the chapel with the girlfriend of the year. He dies, but he slowly transitions and he says,
I can finally see one thing. And one thing only that can leave this world set free.
What, Freddy? What?
Live.
so that's pretty cool, and I remember that freaking me out as a kid. And then you got to hand it to the actor. Tom Matthews is his name. Great job. And Tina, if you love me, you'll give me your brain. I mean, true love. Okay, and this scene is, I have to admit, this is the one scene that kind of got to me. We have James Cameron, who he knows he's gonna die, and he chooses to go out his way. And I do love the scene. This film has a great soundtrack, great punk 80s soundtrack. But this song, Burn in the Flame, with what's going on, I remember that just messing up my head as a kid. And it's still powerful to me as an adult. So just check this out. The cellar door, the designers, believe it or not, Dan O'Bannon said to the designers, hey, I want the furnaces to look like Auschwitz. And they made them look like the ones that were used in Auschwitz. So that's pretty disturbing. But yeah, but that scene still, it's a powerful scene and delivered well. And again, James Cameron, great job in acting, man. He's awesome. So with Ernie's leg broken, he can't walk, so what are they going to do? So they're going to make him run for the car. But in doing so, they couldn't make it back to save Freddy's girlfriend and Ernie, so they had to take off, right? So no, they left us. No, he'd come back. Yeah, Bert's a good man. He's a good man. He'd come back. So in the process, they got to deal with Freddy. So they go and barricade themselves in the attic. We know what scene's coming, right? So they make it back to the warehouse, and they call the number on the barrels. And I do love the conversation between the Colonel You don't hear Bert on the other end, but you hear him on the phone. He goes, okay, when this happened?
When did this take place? And when was the tank first breached? Why didn't you call his number immediately? I see. It's understandable.
Well, why didn't you call then? No. Like, you motherfucker, you know things are happening, you know? Fuck you. So then the colonel calls in the contingency plan. And they launch the missile. And I just love the reaction from Bert and everybody in the cellar.
Hey, listen. You hear anything?
And I do like the effect because we have an explosion on the far left, and they wanted to make it more effective, so they had some fans just burst some air and knock the shingles off the doors and off the roofs of the houses. So that was pretty cool. I do like that. But you know, they think it's over. Like, yeah, sir, this has been unpleasant for everybody. We're just glad we got it taken care of. Yeah, about 4,000 square blocks, but we're good. But again, it starts all over again with the fog, and then we have the "Do you want to party?" So, in hindsight, guys, watching this film again, I have to admit, it was fun. Look at the smile on my face. I had a good time watching this. Did I get scared? No, I didn't get scared, but I had a good time watching it from an adult set of eyes, I guess, so to speak. But do I recommend it? Yes, check it out. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Just keep in mind, this is before CGI. The director wanted to make a zombie movies that was very different from what had existed already. And it stands out, it really does. You have a great music, you have a naked girl with a great body, doing a striptease and goes fully nude in a cemetery. You have great actors that really carry the performance. And I highly recommend it. Check it out. It's a really good, fun 80s horror flick. You're going to have a great time. And as always, guys, thank you for watching Rudy's Movie Reviews, San Antonio's unofficial movie critic, working on being official. We'll see where that goes. I'll keep you posted. But as always, take care, God bless, and happy Halloween, all right? More horror movies to come.